You guys, welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. We're going to go over some bonker stuff happening in China, the China stock market collapse. We're going to see what is happening in China exactly, whether it's Evergrande, COVID lockdowns, and then we're going to talk about what that means for the US dollar, because you guys, I've been saying this, China's after us. China's after the US dollar as far as the world currency. So we're going to take a look at all these things right now. We're going to pull up some articles from various places, and we're going to analyze this data, form an opinion, and hopefully if you guys can, comment below, let me know your opinions, like this video as well, subscribe to my channel. As always, I really love you guys. Let's get started right now. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what is going on in China stock market. Why are people selling off? COVID lockdowns, Evergrande, all of that type of stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is pull up this article and digest it right now. So you guys take a look at this. This is from Bloomberg News. This is as of a couple days ago, okay? This is going into the massive sell-off in China. Let's read the article right now, okay? A sell-off across Chinese stocks deepened on Tuesday with concerns about the nation's ties to Russia and a persistent regulatory pressure, sending a key index to the lowest level since 2008. So they are plummeting since 2000, back down to 2008 levels, which essentially means no growth in 14 years. Sorry, China, but I'm on Team USA. Let's continue. The Hang Seng China Enterprise Index, which tracks Chinese shares traded in Hong Kong, sank. This is a lot, you guys, 6.6%, following a plunge in the previous session that was the biggest since the global financial crisis. Insane. Tech giants Alibaba Group Holding Ltd and Tencent Holdings Ltd led the decline. The benchmark Hang Seng Index slumped 5.7, its biggest decline since July 2015. Now, here's the thing. If you thought China had a strong economy or a strong stock market, you're wrong, okay? I know the US stock market is also going down, but not at the pace in China. In fact, China is leading the way as far as a stock meltdown. Not only that, their housing market has been melting down for quite some time. Have you ever heard of Evergrande? They're one of the biggest real estate firms in China, and they are having an absolute meltdown. So I want to also take a look at Evergrande right now. Now, this is from the New York Times, and this is going to go into Evergrande, and I think that's relevant because not only do I want to go over how messed up China is right now, and you guys can see for yourself the stock market is melting down, but there are many other factors on what is going on with the economy in China and why the economy in whole is collapsing. So here's an article. Here's how it reads. Evergrande has the distinction of being the world's most debt-saddled developer and has been on life support for months. Now it looks to be facing the biggest corporate restructuring in Asia. You guys want to trust China over the US? Although the US is going through some issues right now as far as trust, but what's the lesser of two evils? Anyways, Fitch Ratings, a credit rating firm, has said the Chinese developer is in default of its obligations. They're in default, you guys. They are in default. Evergrande has said that officials from several state-backed institutions had joined a risk committee that would help the company restructure itself because they need help. They need help restructuring. Evergrande is a huge real estate empire. Is it an empire? With millions of apartments in hundreds of cities across China. It also has more than 300 billion in financial obligations, hundreds of unfinished residential buildings, and angry suppliers who have shut down construction sites. Things got so bad that the company paid its overdue bills with unfinished properties and asked employees to lend it money. So here's the thing, not only is the stock market collapsing, one of the biggest real estate developers in China is asking its employees to borrow money. It's asking its employees to borrow money. It's giving, back to its debt obligators, unfinished projects. They have 100 million homes. Are you kidding me? The fact that we're not talking about this more is shocking to me. The fact that the yen is even becoming a topic of the new global currency is shocking to me because look at all of the problems. Now, I know, you guys, I know. The U.S. has issues, okay? The politicians, in my opinion, and I'm not a financial advisor, remember, this is all my opinions, they're a bunch of liars, and quite frankly, I don't trust a whole bunch of them, but look at how messed up China is. So let's continue and let's talk about what else China is doing to mess up its economy right now. So I'm gonna pull up an article about, this is wild, okay? So this article just came up today. This is about another surge in COVID, which was from China. So why are we even talking about China even taking over world currency? The COVID came from China. Anyways, let's pull up this article right now. Okay, guys, this is from Yahoo News, okay? Now, this is basically China double downing on its COVID measures. So this is what it says. Millions under lockdown. Unbelievable. First of all, millions under lockdown again. Maybe, so not only are in lockdown, their employees are asking them to borrow money. How messed up can it get in China? Millions under lockdown, mass testing, deserted streets, and public transport at a standstill. Scenes of daily life in many Chinese cities today eerily recall the original Wuhan outbreak of late 2019 and early 2020, when coronavirus and COVID-19 first made headlines around the world. But more than 2 years later, China is battling a renewed surge in infections fueled by Amcap. Now, I got COVID, you guys. It is no joke. I had double pneumonia, and I was basically laid out. And I was also hospitalized, but I was laid out for 2 months. I'm still fighting side effects. It's pretty crazy. Okay, let me continue. Two subvariant, also known as stealth Omicron, or whatever, it sounds like a transformer, whatever. The use of tough containment measures from a playbook dated to the very beginning of the pandemic underscores official commitment to a zero COVID strategy that shows no signs of wavering. So here's the thing, the government is one thing. I think it's a horrible government. You see, there's so many things going on in the China economy right now that is flattening it out. Plus, I believe they're pretty big liars, but my heart goes out to all the innocent people, all of the normal people like us. Can you imagine living there and going through all of this stuff, man? My heart definitely goes out to them. It is a horrible, horrible situation going on in China right now. Now, even though I'm on Team USA, I know that the real people getting hurt are the everyday people. So again, I'm not trying to be all evil and say bad China, but when we look at just the governments and we look at how the governments are maneuvering and how they're trying to take over certain aspects of our daily life, it's scary, man, because that's where COVID came from. I'm not trying to get too passionate here, but remember where COVID came from, and remember how China did not notify the world and allowed people to travel outside of the country that were infected with coronavirus. Remember that when they start talking about changing the world currency. So now what I want to talk about is what impact the China economic collapse will have on the US dollar. Okay, so I'm going to pull up an article right now that goes into what has recently started happening. But before I bring up this article, let me tell you this. It is true that, in order for a typical new currency to take place, certain things have to transpire. And a lot of things that China is doing right now is leading the way for a new world currency, like their education is astonishing when compared to the US. Their growth is astonishing. Technology is astonishing. There's all of these things that China is going through right now that really puts the US dollar at risk. But one thing that they need is a strong currency. Okay, without a strong currency, we will never switch over to the yen. But enter cryptocurrency. That's for another video. Let's take a look at this article right now. Now look at this, you guys. This is from The Hill. Now this has to go with Saudi Arabia. Okay, I'm going to read this. Saudi and Chinese officials are in talks to price some of the Gulf nations' oil sales in yen rather than dollar or euros. The Wall Street Journal reported Tuesday, citing people familiar with the matter. The two nations have intermittently discussed the matter for 6 years, but talks have repeatedly stepped up in 2022, over the United States nuclear negotiations with Iran and its lack of backing for Saudi Arabian military operations in neighboring Yemen. Nearly 80% of global oil sales are priced in dollars, and since the mid-1970s, the Saudis have exclusively used the dollar for oil trading as part of the security agreement with the U.S. government, according to the Journal. Now let's talk about what that means exactly. Now here's the thing. I believe China, they don't want the dollar as the US currency. They would rather have the yen. Why wouldn't they? So now we're starting to see other nations talk about and initiate plans to sell in yen rather than dollar or euro. And let me ask you another thing. So that's Saudi, right? Saudi, huge exporter of oil. What other country do you think is going to hop on the yen bandwagon? Russia? Maybe? Do you think Russia will? There's all of these things happening right now, y'all, that puts the dollar at risk. But again, even though this has started, I'm not too afraid because quite frankly, as we discussed with some of these factors, the economy is garbage right now. It's garbage. It's built on a bed of lies. The yen is getting devalued like crazy. And if you're an investor in China, you just got burned badly. Same thing with Russia. So although I believe that it is very risky, the US dollar is constantly under attack, there is no alternative that is strong as the US dollar. Now, cryptocurrency is making its way, but other than that, guys, this is what I really wanted to entail. I really wanted to look at China because China is our #1 competitor and the #1 danger to the US dollar, other than the United States being, but here's the thing. It's looking more like, even though the US is suffering, even though the dollar is being hit by inflation, so is the entire world. So I don't think if we have a recession, I don't think it's just going to be a US recession. I believe it will be a world recession. So again, I don't think that the dollar is going to disappear. Now, these are just my opinions, as you guys know. My advice is always be very, very smart about your investing. Sit tight, save money, build your credit, and enjoy your family. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Good luck out there, and I hope you win.